Welcome to Vocabulary TV. This is our 34th video lesson on roots, prefixes and suffixes in English vocabulary. In this episode, we are going to cover the Latin roots Lud and Rid, which give rise to various popular words in English. Some of them are so similar that they could easily be confused. In particular, we are going to string together all the words mentioned on the tree branches using the wonderful mnemonic of these roots. So as they say, it's time to play with words. Our first root is Lud. As to what the word root means, I am sure you would have played the famous game Ludo at some point in your life. And that's the hint. Ludo being a game we play derives from the word root Lud, meaning play. The root Lud and its variant Lus both mean to play. The words derived from the root will carry the meaning to play with, to joke or to jest at, to touch lightly upon a subject or to make a sport of something. Hailing from this playful root is our first word, allude. The word can be broken down into the root lud, meaning play, and ad, meaning towards. So literally, it means to play towards. And in fact, one of the former meanings of allude was to engage in word play. Though this sense is now long obsolete. In today's English, allude means to indirectly suggest or call attention to something or drop a hint at something. The word indirect is important here. Allude should ideally be used when one needs to make an indirect reference, though meanings are largely governed by what's in practice. And dictionaries like Merriam-Webster say that for over a century now, people have been using allude in the sense of to refer to directly, which is neither considered uncommon nor improper. An example sentence is, when I inquired Mrs. Sharma about her absence from office yesterday, she alluded to some health problems without being specific. Allude here means she hinted at or suggested indirectly. The corresponding noun is allusion. Allusion is an expression designed to call something to mind without mentioning it explicitly. It's an indirect or passing reference. For instance, when he said, to be or not to be, that's the question. He made an allusion to Shakespeare's Hamlet. Or, easier still, if you say that she has a mysterious smile like that of Mona Lisa, you are making an allusion, albeit a direct one, to the famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci. This is a recent newspaper headline I came across, clearly making an allusion to the story of Cinderella and her 12 o'clock deadline. So we see that allusion, as a figure of speech, paints a beautiful picture in the reader's or listener's mind when he or she is aware of the context behind it. Our second word derived from the word root lud is equally popular in English. The word collude is made up of the prefix col, meaning together, and lud, meaning play. So the word literally means to play together. And indeed, the word is used when two or more people are being partners in a crime. To collude is to work with others secretly, especially in order to do something illegal or dishonest. For instance, in the theft case, the police found out that the burglar had colluded with the security guard of the building. The corresponding noun is collusion, which implies such secret or illegal cooperation or conspiracy in order to deceive others. And the same sentence can be rephrased as, in the theft case, the police found out that the burglar had been in collusion with the security guard of the building. Next word is prelude. The meaning is an easy one to guess. The word prelude literally means to play before and generally refers to an action or event serving as an introduction to something more important. An example sentence is, the dark clouds were a prelude to the impending storm and heavy rainfall. Or better still, a ceasefire was agreed between the two countries as a prelude to full peace negotiations. though prelude may also mean a short piece of music that introduces a longer piece, like, for instance, an orchestral opening to an act of an opera. Prelude can also be used as a verb, as in the following sentence. At her birthday bash, drinks and appetizers preluded the main course. By extension, we have the word interlude, which literally means to play in between and mostly refers to an interval or a period of time between events and activities. Example sentences are, the lunchtime was the only peaceful interlude in her otherwise busy day. And, in our school's annual day function, there were many interludes such as poem recitals and mimicry acts in between the main dance and drama performances. The next word derived from Lud is the word delude. Delude literally means to play down to one's detriment. It is used in the sense to play false, to mock, or deceive. In simple words, to delude is to make someone believe something that is not true, and that someone might very well be yourself. For instance, look at this man gazing at his reflection in the mirror and exclaiming, "Wow, this suit still fits after all these years." The man deluded himself into thinking that he had a fit body, whereas his suit was bursting at the seams. The corresponding noun is delusion. Delusion refers to a false idea or an idiosyncratic belief or impression, typically caused due to mental disorder. For all of us who have read the famous comic strip Kevin and Hobbes, here is an excellent example of delusion where Kevin's father, in a sincere advice, tells him that he has grown up and must stop believing that his stuffed toy, which is a tiger, springs to life, which is the same thing as saying that Kevin must put his delusions behind him. Typical expression where you would probably encounter this word is delusions of grandeur. If you have delusions of grandeur, you believe that you are much more important than you really are. Like in this sentence, at the peak of his career, he suffered from hallucinations and delusions of grandeur. Then we have the word elude. The prefix elude means out or away, and elude literally is when one is trying to catch something and it slips out or slips away from one's grasp. It is used in two different but interconnected meanings. The first one is escape from or avoid a danger, enemy or pursuer, typically in a skillful or cunning way. For example, the police tried to catch the thief, but he eluded capture. The second one is when someone fails to attain something that was desired. For instance, the solution to this complicated problem eludes me for the moment. Elusive is a related word which is an adjective and describes something that is difficult to find, catch or achieve, or even something that is difficult to remember. Like the last sentence can be rephrased as, the solution to this complicated problem remains elusive. The next word is illusion. The best way in which you can remember the word is through the phrase that an illusion is a play with your mind. It is making you see or believe things that are not true. Look at the picture of the circle here. It is an optical illusion designed to give you the feeling that it is rotating, whereas it is not. Similarly, the magician has created an illusion of the body floating in thin air. One who creates such illusions is known as an illusionist. An illusionist deludes the audience into believing things that are not true, though the word can also be used for a false idea or belief that someone holds. When such illusion or the false belief that one holds breaks, one becomes disillusioned. An example sentence for both words is, she was under the illusion that she was the most intelligent in the class, but she was soon disillusioned when she got very poor grades in exams. The word disillusion refers to the disappointment resulting from the discovery that something is not as good as one believed it to be. For instance, barely 6 months into his job in the foreign country, he was disillusioned with his life and repented his career decisions. The last word based on the root lud is ludicrous. The word was originally used in the sense sportive and intended as a jest. Ludicrous means so foolish, unreasonable, or out of place as to be amusing. For example, watching the ludicrous antics of the comedians in theatre, the crowd burst out laughing. And a synonym of ludicrous, ridiculous, which is our next word, takes laughter to the next level. The word ridiculous derived from the Latin root rid, which means to laugh. Ridiculous defines something that is extremely silly, unreasonable, or absurd, and hence deserves or invites derision or mockery. Like, perhaps someone's dress might look ridiculous to you. Look at this person's hat. You can't help laughing looking at it, as it is shaped like a burger and can rightly be described as ridiculous. Or perhaps a suggestion like one should travel the globe in a hot air balloon might seem ridiculous to you. A similar word derived from the same root is risible, which means laughable and is a synonym of ridiculous. Next word based on the root is ridicule. It is used both as a noun and as a verb. To ridicule someone is to laugh at and make jokes about someone in a cruel or harsh way. And this very act of making fun of someone in a cruel way is also known as ridicule. An example sentence is, one of the fattest people around, Albert was an object of ridicule for the neighborhood kids. Here, ridicule is a noun. If I say, Albert was ridiculed by the neighborhood kids, it would be a verb and would mean that the kids used to laugh at and make fun of his obesity. Deride is a similar verb as ridicule and is, in fact, derived from the same root rid. It literally means to laugh down or scoff at someone. To deride someone means to express contempt for that guy or ridicule that guy. The best example of the word is perhaps two politicians from opposing parties at the time of elections. In order to win votes, they would spare no effort in criticizing and insulting each other, especially at the time of elections. In India, we have plenty of examples of that, but even in USA, in the run-up to the presidential elections, there were instances when the two candidates ridiculed and made fun of each other. That is to say, they derided their opponent. Like, in an infamous tweet which was later deleted, Trump wrote that, if Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? Later, Hillary Clinton also took a dig at Trump, clearly alluding to Trump's indiscreetness. Related words are derision, which is a noun, and derisible, which is an adjective. Now test your understanding of the words learned in this lesson by filling in the blanks below. It is recommended that you pause the video when the timer starts. And that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you liked it. Subscribe our channel and stay tuned for more such videos. Thank you.